I'm Councilman Julian Earl Jones Jr. from Baltimore County Council, and I'm a retired division chief here in the Arundel County Fire Department.
I'm Lieutenant Sheldon Neal, a current lieutenant in the fire department in Arundel County.
Well, Sheldon, I was just talking the other day about how I came to the fire department. And I was always working my way through school, working part-time and full-time at different jobs. And I heard an ad on the radio. I was working midnights from 11 to 7 in the morning at the Baltimore Zoo. And I heard the ad on the radio. Anne Arundel County was hiring for firefighters $18,963. And to me, that was a come up. I was making about 11 or 12,000 at the time. And I thought, what do I know about the fire department? So I looked into it, decided to apply. And I remember going to the police department, taking the test in the basement. That's where they had the test for the fire department at that time. This is back in 1984. And I took the test, and I was sort of intimidated a little bit when I saw a lot of people with fire department paraphernalia on and jackets and coats. But I took the test, and everything worked out fine. And I loved the job, loved every minute of it, and stayed in school. And when I graduated at UMBC with a degree in Information Systems Management, I had a decision to make, whether or not I was going to stay in the department or pursue my career in computers or go to medical school. And somebody offered me a job out of the blue. I turned it down and said, I'm staying in the fire department. And I enjoyed every minute since I've been here. How about you? How did you come to the fire department?
Well, that was because of you. Myself and paramedic Haynes, we were both in college at the time, and I had taken a break. Paramedic Haynes continued and graduated, and you'd always talk to us about joining, and we always decided, no, we had better things to do, and we weren't doing that job. And finally, I always tell people I probably should have started this job in 1996, maybe, 96, 97, when you were telling us that finally we did it, early 2000s. And actually, it's about, you have at least 4 family members in the fire service because of you. And we actually took the job, we accepted it, and we ended up finding out we didn't even know we would love something. So 15 years, almost 16 years later, still here.
Well, you know, I love the job, still love the job. I'm not doing it, but I love it. And I was sort of like the recruiter for the department for many, many years. Yeah. I started under Halford. He gave me an opportunity, but I realized how important the job was and what a great job and career it was. So I would always recruit. I would recruit for the department when they weren't asking me to recruit. Yep. I was recruiting when we didn't have recruiters. I guess whatever job I was doing, I took the time out to spread the word that this was a great career. It's a rewarding and fulfilling career. And it's the type of career where it offers stability, and it's a noble profession. So everybody loves a firefighter because we're there to help. And we make a difference in people's lives. And that's one of the things that kept me around and really inspired me, was the opportunity to make a difference in somebody's life today. Like now as a councilman, I help a lot of people. I do a lot of things. And sometimes I pass a bill, like we just passed a bill to make sure gun stores fortify their inventory. Mm-hmm. So these are things that happen down the road. But in the fire service,
it's immediate.
You give people help right then and there, and you can see the difference you make in their lives. And nothing is more rewarding than when you save somebody or you rescue somebody, and they come in the firehouse 2 months later and say, hey, I was that person. And you're like, wow, and you're really happy. In the department when I got here in 1985, I remember I was washing my car, and my mother said, somebody on the fire department's for you. I said, what? Somebody in the fire department? So I stopped washing the car, went inside, and they offered me the job. And I started July 25th, 1985. And at the time, I remember, after being here for about a year or two, you start looking around, you say, wow, man, there's not a single person of color as a lieutenant in this fire department.
Yep.
Wow. So in addition to being a recruiter, I went on and got promoted to lieutenant, captain, battalion, and division chief. But I always tried to inspire others to get promoted. I've always worked hard at trying to diversify the department because I thought that was important. And I just wanted everybody to have this opportunity to work here. What drives you? What makes you love the job? Do you love the job?
I do love the job, so I'm still here. For one, I've never seen one place so diverse, not just in race, background, religion, also in not just demographics, but areas, geographical locations. Anne Arundel County encompasses everything from a city look to a very rural look. We encounter, part of our job is being social workers, most of it.
Of course.
Most of our jobs being social workers, so be able to affect or have an effect on that many people's lives, not just the public, but your coworkers. And it's probably one of the only jobs I could think of besides the military and police where you literally spend more time with your coworkers than you do with your families. They become your second family. And that bond seems to reach past race, creed, religion, all those things. I know that the department has changed from when you first started, just the stories we talked about. And there were some things when I first started, but it's come a long way. With the chief we have now, with the strides and moves she's making, it is a complete 180 from what you know when you started. I was privileged to be pinned by the first black officer in this county, and I'm the most recent, the newest. And I think this is number 1 and number 8.
Okay,
And
all right.
right now there's only 4 of us, and we're just encouraging others. Matter of fact, we're encouraging everyone in the fire department, regardless of race, take an opportunity to promote. But especially people of color, if you see an opportunity, you feel like this is a job you love, we don't want you just to do it, but if you have a passion for it, we definitely encourage you to do it.
Well, it's the type of job that a lot of people don't know much about.
Yeah.
They don't know. They see you, they think they know, but they really don't know. And you're right, the camaraderie of working with people day in and day out. Listen, we could do a lot of billable hours in terms of helping our coworkers in terms of going through life. And you see their family, grow, you see their kids grow up, you talk to them, you go through things with them. It's a close-knit, I don't think there's any job other than maybe the military to give you that type of camaraderie. And you know, you're there to make a difference in the lives of people. And you have a good time at the fire station. You're there 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
But when the alarm goes off, it's serious business.
It's all business.
And it's to be quite frank, it is a dangerous job, but we do everything in our power, especially nowadays, to make it as safe as possible.
Right.
When I first got in the 80s, we cared about safety, but a lot of things weren't in place to really make it as safe as it is today.
Right.
You talked about back then, and I mean, today we have a female chief.
Yeah.
And back when I got in, we had like one lieutenant that was a female. That was it. So we've come a long way.
Very
and
long.
The job is open to everybody. And I guess would encourage anybody to, pursue this career because it is a noble profession.
Very much
And
so.
in my 32 years of being here, I've seen a lot of changes in the economy. And I've seen people lose their jobs, get laid off, and we've taken some hits, but the job was always there. You always had a paycheck. You always knew you were going to get paid, whether you took a little pay cut here or didn't get a raise there. And I've just been very, very thankful to the job and what it has done for me and my family.
It's done a lot for us.
And I've done my best to spread the word, to tell everybody.
The word, the wealth, it's allowed some of us to go. If you remember, I said I had taken a break from school. It's allowed me to re-register for school. It's all the time. It's allowed people to pursue second careers. This place gives you a great foundation to build a family off of. It's given me everything. They used to say, if you want this job, don't expect to get rich. But they didn't tell you that it gives you an opportunity to be very successful, though.
Well, I tell you,
to be very successful.
Listen, it's in the eye of the beholder what rich is, right? But the fact of the matter is you can have a decent life,
Yeah, very good
a
one.
nice quality of life by working this job in terms of health care, benefits,
The best.
retirement. All those things really make this a very great job. But also the reward of coming to work, making a difference.
Every
That's
day.
something you can't get everywhere. You can go other places and make a lot of money, but you're not going to get the reward of saving somebody's life. That feeling,
Is
that
yeah,
feeling,
it's
I mean, that's
inexplicable.
just,
Yep.
you know, you save one man's life is like saving the whole world.
Yeah.
So for me, to get promoted, because I didn't want to get all choked up, so I got to switch the subject.
Yeah.
For me to get promoted, you know, to me, I wanted to get promoted really because I wanted to have more impact in the organization. I felt like I wanted to have more control over what was going on. And so that was one of the things that drove me, always trying to say, if I can be at this level, I can have more control. I can have more input or greater input. What drove you to get promoted?
You telling me not to be stagnant. Don't get comfortable where you are. Don't settle for just being okay. Don't sit there. I
Well-
mean, people don't really understand the driving force you were for, especially for me and Bernard. Sean too, the example you've been. People always know I had two heroes, two examples in my life. It's my father, Hollis Neal, and my Uncle Julian, or we call him Uncle Judy. Those guys are the reason I am exactly who I am today and where I am at. It's the reason why I walk around with this white shirt. It's the reason why I'm here. I always say about those two guys, which I'm trying to learn from, they are who they say they are. And in this job, that's exactly what you have to be. You have to be dependable, credible. And one of the things I employ the younger generation come up in this fire department is to find out what it's about. Find out the history of the department. And each group has its own history, but find out their overall history and find your own history. And that's how you build a love for the department. That's when it becomes more than a job, is when you do your research. I didn't know what it was about. Then when I looked at my Uncle Junie's life, and I saw what it did, and opportunities it gave him, that's when I loved it, and it became a career.
Yeah.
So that was the difference.
Well, I tell you, I've always loved the job. So I would be remiss if I didn't say that, you know, I've worked with some tremendous people who taught me. I mean, I learned from some great people, and everybody come to this job with a good heart to make a difference. And I applaud the union, right? I was a union member for all these years, still am, and was on the executive board. And they worked hard to bring the benefits and the work conditions that would sustain us and make this job the type of job that we are happy to do. So, especially when I'm sitting here now as a retired, I'm looking at my pension check come and I think about my benefits. Those things didn't happen. They happened because the fight that the union put up to make these things happen. You know, it's a pyramid. Every year they go in asking for more and more and more and make sure that we're treated fairly. And that just didn't happen, I have to say, to be quite frank. Anything else you want to talk about before we break it off?
No, guys, it's a great job. This job changes lives for the public, but also could change your life. I'm living proof of that. There are probably people that know me that when I started, I was a 20-something-year-old kid. This job grew me up.
Yeah. Well, for me, I would encourage anybody to take the job.
Yep.
Because of not just the pay and the benefits and what it would do for you and your family, but also when you have the opportunity to make a difference in the lives of others.
Yeah.
To save a life, save people, protect people. I mean, these things just go a long way, and it gives you the type of satisfaction you can't get anyplace else.
You can't buy it. Yep.
So I would encourage anybody to apply.
Yep.
This is a great fire department in Arundel County. I think by far it's the best.
I think so.
I tell people all the time I have dual citizenship. Having worked here for 32 years and lived in Baltimore County,
Right.
I have dual citizenship. This is my home, just like Baltimore County is my home.
I'm working on my citizenship, my dual.
So I guess we're going to wrap it up.
That's it.
That's it.
Yep.
It's always a pleasure.
You too. Aunt.
And we certainly wish everybody well, and thanks for listening.
Thank you for your time.
That's a tape.
Yeah.